If you were looking for career advice from a career coach, and he had led teams that have placed over 6,000 pros in 21 industries, worked at the largest Fortune 500 recruitment firm in the world, was responsible for over $50 million of placements of executives, and was one of the top recruiters recognized nationally while serving in the United States Army, you'd probably say he's qualified. This is the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast. Career competition is fierce. If you're a director, a VP, or an executive, this podcast is for you. This is the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast. And this is your host, Tim Madden.
How is everyone doing today? Hope you are well. Welcome to the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast with your host, Tim Madden. Kristina Madden is at an appointment today, so unfortunately she will not be joining us, but I do have a special treat for you. So, hey, if you don't know us, we are the what's the word I'm looking for? We are the leaders of Executive Career Upgrades. We help professionals land jobs quickly, start their new job off on the right foot, to avoid all that anxiety and to make sure they have a plan. We help them develop the leadership skills they need to ascend to the director, VP, and executive levels. And hey, exciting news, we also help them get consultancy deals. And we're going to get into more of that later. But hey, we go live each week inside the Executive Career Network on Facebook, which is the fastest growing career network on Facebook. Hey, check us out. We just surpassed 9,000 members. Hey, do me a favor. If you're watching in the ECN live right now, let me know in the comments. We appreciate you. We also stream over to our friends on LinkedIn and YouTube. And when we're done, we upload it to everywhere on the internet. So you may be listening on iTunes or Spotify. We appreciate you. Now, of course, before we get started, I'm going to do what we normally do each week, right? If you get any value out of this segment today, which I know you will, share this with a friend, a family member who needs to hear this topic. And if you like what was delivered today, do me a favor and leave me a review over on iTunes. I really, really appreciate it. As I mentioned last week, we are a top 100 podcast in Mexico, a top 100 podcast in Europe. But even though we're in the United States, we're not a top 100, right? So we need more reviews to get this message out. So do me a favor. If you could leave one, I'd really appreciate it. All right, now back to the good stuff. Huge congratulations to members inside the Executive Career Upgrades career program. We had multiple individuals last week, but I want to talk about, this week, sorry. I want to talk about two specifically who landed senior leadership roles at VMware and Walmart. They are higher level roles. We're not going to say names, titles, etc. But hey, you know who you are. I know you listen to my podcast. I truly, I truly know that you are going to go in on your first 100 days at these two organizations and make a massive impact. Huge congrats to the other individuals that landed consulting deals or other offers at Executive Career Upgrades. And as always, if you need help in your career, go on over to execupgrades.com/podcast, schedule a call with our team so that, right, a free consult, so we can figure out where you're struggling, where you need the most help, and how we can support you through this transition in your career. We would love to be an additional resource for you. Excellent. So one more thing before we get started. We are holding, and that's actually what we're talking about today. We are holding a live event. Let me pull it up. A live event next Tuesday, which is what day? Let me check real quick. I don't even know what day it is. November 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or somewhere else, email me at tim@execupgrades.com. I will get you all the information. Okay, I will get you all the information. This event that we're holding, we've been wanting to do this for a long time. Okay, we work with so many directors, VPs, and executives that have 20, 30, 40 years of experience that are exceptionally great at what they do. They have a track record of success, and most of them are approached, right, for consulting opportunities, and some want to, figure out how do they do their own consultancy. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, just a little bit. And that's what we're going to be focused on Tuesday. And I'll get into the details shortly, but I dropped that in the comments for you. If you would like to register, definitely hope to see you there. So with that being said, let me see, give me one moment, and then we will keep going. I'm dropping another link right here. Perfect. So getting started today, right? Normally we talk about how to get on interviews. We talk about how to be more comfortable through the salary negotiation progress, what to target. But today, leading up to our live event, is all about consultancies. Okay. So many times, and the reason we're doing this is so many times as people are going through our career accelerator program, they're approached by a company that doesn't have a full-time need. Okay. They just have, something part-time or project-based. And they always ask questions like, hey, they want me as a 1099 contractor. How do I set up my pay? How do I structure the business? How do I, structure the deal? How much should I charge? All of these things. We get these questions all the time inside our career program. So we want to show you how me and Kristina have built 3 very large consultancies. So without further ado, let's get into today's topic: how to make your first 6 figures in your consultancy. Now, this could be even if you're already working a current job, okay? Because most of this consultancy work, they do not need you full time. They don't need you for 20 hours a week. Most consultancies that I see are between 1 to 5 hours a week, and the typical retainer or project payment structures. But actually, it's not very difficult to get a substantial amount of income on the side if you want to work a little more. Plus, we work with so many individuals that say, hey, Tim, I love corporate America, but I am actually interested in just doing this full time. So if that's you, definitely click the event. So episode 59, how to make your first 6 figures. So let's talk about 5 things. Number 1, and I can't stress this enough, you have to be great at what you do. Otherwise, this is not for you. Maybe you have been, at the VP level, director level, and know all the ins and outs of Facebook ads, all the ins and outs of creatives, all the ins and outs of copywriting. Or maybe you're a tech in the tech industry and you're talking about software implementation. There's so many reasons companies bring in professionals to solve problems. But number 1, if you're thinking about doing some consultant work on the side, you have to be really great at what you do. Otherwise, no one's going to hire you. Okay? You have to be really great at what you do. You have to track record of success, because throughout this progress, they're going to want to know, just like you, right? Have you solved this problem before? How did you solve it? How long did it take, right? And you need to be able to relay that information to them as you're communicating with them. Otherwise, no one's going to hire you. So number 1, it's an easy one. You have to be great at what you do. So now we need to think, am I great at what I do? Hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast, you are. Okay. Have you got performance reviews that say you're great at what you do? Okay. Have you got accolades, awards, etc.? If so, you are primed to do this. Now, number 2, this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part. You have to make a commitment to get started. You have to make a commitment to get started. We have worked with numerous professionals over the years that wanted to do this full time. Okay. The hardest thing to do in life is make a commitment that says, I'm going to do it by this date. Hey, I'm going to run a half marathon on January 7th. What do I have to do to backwards plan, right, to ensure I can do it? So number 1, so many people just struggle with showing up or making that commitment. They do it because, just like everything in life, they overthink everything, right? They overthink everything. What do I mean by that specifically? Okay. Well, I don't know where to start. How do I start running a marathon? How do I start a consultancy? What about these clients? What about this? What should I offer? You literally talk yourself out of it before you even get started. This is going to be tough. This is going to be this. So what I'm really talking about besides the commitment is you have to have a strong mindset to succeed. If you do not do well under stress or customer service with clients, etc., a consultancy is not for you. Okay. While I said making six figures is generally easy, and that's what we're going to talk about in part 3, I will let you know it takes a tremendous amount of work though. When I say easy, here's what I really mean by that. If you do a little bit every day, right, and you follow a blueprint and a roadmap, it's easy. If you get overwhelmed in all of the details before you even start, and as I mentioned before with the consultancy, but it's the same thing with running, right? Say I'm making a commitment to myself. I'm running this marathon on January 7th. Period. End of story. But before people make that commitment, they start thinking, well, I'm thinking about running a marathon, but what shoes do I wear? What shorts do I wear? What watch do I get? How do I train? Oh my God, what about nutrition? What about supplements? If you overthink everything in your life, work your typical 9-to-5 job, okay? Ascend up the corporate ladder, make the biggest impact you can, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But entrepreneurship, consultancies, etc., are only for those professionals, right? Who have a very strong mindset and again, a track record of success. And I am truly aware that this is not for everybody. So if you're able, and I love Ed Milet's quote, I was just talking about it earlier today, okay? If you have a very high level of self-confidence, which truly means being able to keep the promises to yourself, no matter what they are, this is for you. Number 3, let's get into it a little bit. When you're starting, it's actually easier than you think. And here's what I mean. You need to have, right, one offer. We'll talk about what an offer is in a second. One avatar. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So one offer, one avatar, one channel. So let's deep dive a little bit. One offer. You should not worry about 5 to 10 things to sell different organizations if you're doing some consulting work. You should have, this is what I help companies do. Okay. So many people overcomplicate it. They say, hey, I can help companies with this and this and this and this. And you're just going to confuse organizations. So until you get past 6, 7 figures, most people do that with one product offering. Okay. Let me, help you out a little bit. I'm having a turnover problem. Hey, to solve this problem over the next 90 days, right? I am going to charge $5,000 a month for, 3 months. That's simple. That's easy. Everyone understands it with the goal of reducing turnover. So that is one offer. Offers can vary if you want more on the different types of offers, the free assessment, the free this, the retainer, the project, all of these different offerings. Hey, you can click the link in the that I posted on LinkedIn or on Facebook, or you can email me at tim@execupgrades and I'll get it to you. So for number 3, subpart A, right, you need one offer. Number 1, you need one avatar. So many people go in business and say, I can help everybody. You maybe can, okay? But who is your ideal client? What type of organization are they? What industry are they in? And where are they at on their growth map, right? You may not be able to go in and help everyone with every tech implementation. You might not be able to do that for a Fortune 500 company. You might want to help do that for mid-sized to small businesses, right? So number 3, sub B, right? You have to have an ideal avatar. The more specific you are about, here's what I can offer, okay? This is my target client, the more successful you're going to be. The more layers you add on, the more confusing it's going to be for your client and you, unless you are a seasoned business professional who has been doing consulting for a very long time. So to make it easy, have one offer and figure out your ideal client. Number 3, you need one channel to promote on. Okay. So many people struggle with client acquisition, leads, whatever you want to say. They say, I'm sure you've seen people, oh, you need to do this. You need to use all the social media platforms. You need these texts. You need one system, right? That does really well. Okay, that can actually generate some leads for you. There are a variety of them. And actually, if you come to the live event on November 8th, I'm going to show you actually the insides under the hood of Executive Career Upgrades to show you, right? Exactly which platforms we get all of our leads off of, which we specialize in helping directors, VPs, and executives. And I'm pretty sure if you're trying to be a consultant, you're probably going to target the same professionals we are in our organization. You're just going to do it a little more simply. So that is number 3. You need an offer. You need your target market, your target avatar, if you will. And number 3, you need a target channel on how you're going to develop some leads. Okay. Number 4, business is all about math. Now, while I am good at math, you do not have to be, but you have to know, okay, what is your goal in starting a consultancy? And I just picked 100K. Okay. If I'm trying to make 100K in the next 12 months, here's the basic math I need to know. What am I charging for my offer? Let's just say 5K. To make an additional 100K in income, you would need 1.6 clients per month. If you got 1.6 clients per month that you sold one 5K package to of maybe marketing, rebranding, ads, turnover, finance, whatever it is that you do, right? That is how you will do 6 figures. Maybe you don't want, to make 6 figures. Maybe you want to make 20K over the next 12 months. Go ahead and do the math, but you have to know your numbers. And then when you're promoting on your channel, you need to know, how many leads do I need so I can actually talk to someone? How many people do I need to talk to until I get a deal? While starting out, I know this can be, more difficult because you've never done this before, but over the course of starting it, you need to know your numbers. You need to know how many people, what's my target, what am I offering, how many do I need per month to really reach these income goals that you have. So you have to know your numbers and you have to track everything. Number 5, and the last part of the podcast today, you need leads and you need a way to convert leads into paying customers. Okay. There is not enough time on this podcast to talk about lead generations and sales processes, but there are many, many different ways to develop leads online. There is all of the social media channels, okay? LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, etc. Just huge gold mine for lead generation. There are automated tech tools to get a hold of people. There are email marketing systems. There are so many ways, and I know it can be very overwhelming when you talk about generating leads, but it's actually easier than you think as long as you truly know your offer, your avatar, their pain points, and exactly how to speak to them. And on the live event, we're going to be talking about many different platforms and what we feel may be the best for you if you're considering starting your own consultancy. And the last thing you need, this word, sales. Yeah, Tim, but I'm not a salesman. Do you want to help companies solve problems? Then, maybe don't use the word sales, use the word consultant. And that's a lovely word that we like to use in the Executive Career Upgrades program. Do not be a candidate inside of this interview process if you're going for a job. Be a consultant. Learn, hey, where's the company going? What do they really need? Where are they challenges? And how can I actually help them? And we're actually going to show you on the live training our sales process of the 5 stages of a actual, presentation, client call, sales call, whatever, where if you do these 5 areas and you know them well, right, and you learn it, you can convert someone into a paying customer. So just to recap, just giving you kind of a high, just kind of get your brain working a little bit. Number 1, if you want to build a consultancy on the side or do it full time, you have to be great at what you do or no one's going to hire you. You have to have a strong commitment to succeed and a strong mindset. And you have to be an individual that wants to help organizations solve challenges. Remember, number 3, you need 1 offer, 1 avatar, and 1 channel, scaling to 6 figures and beyond. Okay. Do not overcomplicate this because when people overcomplicate it, they never get anything done. Number 4, you have to know your math, right? Math says, what's the income that you want to make? How can I reverse engineer it? How can I reverse engineer my leads? How can I reverse engineer my sales process so that I know all the numbers in my business so that I could hit my income goals or my goal of solving X amount of challenges for business inside the next 12 months. Hey, and number 5, you have to know how to generate leads and you have to have a sales process. I wish, and I love talking about leads. It's probably the most favorite aspect of being in business. It's something that I love the most. Hey, I love being a coach. I love talking about processes, but my favorite is I really do love marketing and sales. And that sales process, right? I can guarantee if you show up to the event and you see how we've generated leads here for our multiple lines of business and how we've actually converted those leads through a process, you will be well on your way to learning how to do some consulting on the side. So remember, I hope to see you there, okay? Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. No, next Tuesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern, so we can share with you how Kristina and I have built some pretty large consultancies and the steps we exactly took to get there. So follow along with us as you see how we've built different businesses that helps organizations and people as well, so that you can go do that for other people as well. Until next week, and actually, no, I was going to say until next week, I will see you until then. But everybody, I really, really, really hope if you've been thinking about doing this on the side, or you have your own consultancy and haven't been sure where to start, I highly encourage you to do this. And it's made a massive impact on my life, and it's made an impact on the individuals that I've worked with as well. If you've checked out our YouTube channel, where we've had hundreds of professionals that we've worked with. Hope to see you Tuesday. Have a great day.